Hey, Prime members! Have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free-podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free-podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
After investing billions to light up our network, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network. Plus, right now, you can switch, keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800. See how you can save on every plan versus Verizon and AT&T at T-Mobile.com/keep-and-switch.
Up to 4 lines via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service ported 90-plus days with device and eligible carrier and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months.
Oh boy, Christopher, here's the question I want to pose right at the top, right at the nip this week. Why don't we just send Kim Kardashian to the fucking Middle East and solve shit over there, since she's apparently breaking the Menendez brothers, murderers, out of jail? Why don't we put her to good use?
This is one of the biggest responses I've ever gotten on Instagram, is from putting up those stories of, one, Kim like wanting them to be free, and two, Ryan Murphy being like, they deserve to send me flowers. What is happening? I need to see the text messages between like her and him, because what is she doing? What is she doing?
Part, she's doing what she does. Kim Kardashian, this resume began with expert blowjob giver and is now ending with
anal sex aficionado,
world-leading prison reformist. Like, these are not the same skills that appear under special skills normally.
It is a feat. I will say, I have to give her props, because that family will worm their way into anyone with fame and like suck the life out of them. It's astonishing.
The past 7 days have been so weird, though, because it's like at the same time that it seems like Hollywood's turning against Ryan Murphy because of the several fictional, not just dramatized, but fictionalized elements of the Menendez miniseries, including a Variety article. What was the headline of that article? It was like, have we had enough of Ryan Murphy, or have we OD'd on Ryan Murphy?
Yeah, basically.
Literally that day.
Yes, the answer is yes.
But it is yes, and it is also, but look what his dramatization has now done. It has dragged Kim Kardashian into the fray, and she's going to free murderers because of it. All right.
I will say, though, did those parents deserve to die? Maybe. I know that's horrible, but...
What I will say in everyone's defense, including one of the jurors of the Menendez trial who's come forward, who has said that the verdict would be different today because childhood trauma is a reasonable cause to murder someone now, where 25 to 30 years ago just simply wasn't.
I mean, look at Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She's a star.
She's it's
the same thing. It's not
why does she why does she have a TLC show and the Menendez brothers are in jail without their wigs?
Well, here's the other thing, is that like Ryan Murphy's like, they should be like kissing my individual toes that they're like in the spotlight. And I'm like, every 3 years we do another documentary on the Menendez brothers.
But
and like
it's this one.
And if you go on any of the streaming apps, like they have their version of whatever the fuck he's doing. And it's from like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
But what they don't have
is the brothers fucking each other.
The brothers washing each other's dicks in the shower.
Yeah.
They don't have that. And that involves Kim Kardashian and gets these motherfuckers out of jail. So I don't know. So Ryan's gay fetish fantasy moment is freeing these people. It's pretty amazing.
It's also hilarious because he acts like this isn't the most reopened case every decade.
Well, speaking of indestructible, Rust. Remember that movie where Alec Baldwin involuntarily manslaughtered the director of photography? It's premiering at a film festival.
Why are they doing this?
I did not know that they were bringing this project to completion, and I think it's. I don't know, man. I'm not prissy at all about this shit, but it feels it just feels like a very bad move. It just feels gross to me. Like, don't fucking do it.
Don't do this. No one wants to see this movie.
When people have died on films before, I'm trying to think
And wait, you know what? And film festival people that are accepting it into this thing, be better. Alec Baldwin, you want to get your little, God knows what film, it's not the fucking Tribeca Film Festival, I can tell you that much. This little, whatever the fuck film festival is probably like, oh, Alec Baldwin will come to our film festival? Sure. And they want all, because of course they're going to get so much publicity from it, obviously. Like,
I'm trying to see
a
what the
backbone
film
for
festival
2 fucking
is.
seconds and not do this.
It's a very small film festival called the Eladia Cucumber Film Festival. I have not heard of this. These some young upstarts who love vegetables.
The Mallorca Baldwinito Film Festival. I'm literally hot. I'm hot.
I'm trying to think. I remember now when I was a kid, there was a Twilight Zone movie and someone died in the making of that movie, and they like violently. I think he was decapitated, and they still released it. But then they were doing that Greg Allman movie, remember 10 years ago, where on the train tracks, where that I think she was a PA, but she was killed.
Her name was Sarah.
And they just shut that shit down.
Yes, like, done.
There was not even a discussion about doing complete this.
And that was like, I mean, I remember that like reverberating through to even to reality TV of like safety precautions on set.
Yeah,
to be like top priority.
I don't know. If I'm someone people are looking to like review this movie, I would probably boycott it. I'd say thanks, no thanks.
This is the thing. He wants this movie to come out and be successful so that they can be like, look, it was all for something. Like this all needs to like be for a cause, and they want that cause to be like that this movie is like revered.
Right. I think that the actual cause should be Alec Baldwin winning a Razzie. Haven't seen the movie, probably won't watch a frame of it, but just give him that award.
I also don't need to see him being he's like fat as shit. He's not like, I don't need him being a cowboy.
Is he the character Rust?
Is his pot belly like on the horse? Is the horse like being like, ow? Like, is that the movie?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that someone was killed when they made the movie, so you probably shouldn't release it.
We're being really mean.
feels like bad luck. I don't know. It just feels like the wrong fucking
Why
movie.
do you want to do, like, why are you doing this? It's so bad. It's so fucking bad.
Let us move on to brighter, greener pastures. As was predicted on this very podcast recently, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are the finalists to host the 2025 Academy Awards. And so to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, we say, you're welcome.
Now, you were the one, right? You said
I believe it was me. It was my dear friend Amanda Zucker, one of the EPs of The Voice, if I may drop that name. When she saw that they were finalists, she texted me, "Didn't you predict this?" And I needed salts to wake up from my own brilliant prediction. I mean, it's not like it was that much of a stretch, but
no, it's not.
I'll take credit.
But regardless, we still called it. You keep saying the word finalists as if like they're on the X Factor. Like,
well,
that's
the thing is, like, that's all. I can't get a confirmation on this. I just know that they are. What probably means when all these articles are saying that they're finalists means they've extended an offer. And Hugh and Ryan have yet to accept it because it's probably not enough money.
Well, and is all this so that they can invite Taylor Swift as their guest to the Oscars? That's
I don't know.
It is the PS.
I don't know.
Not that Hugh Jackman did it.
Maybe Alec Baldwin will present Best Picture. Kim Kardashian will do Best Actress, and the Menendez brothers will hand out Best Documentary Short. I feel like this will mean more to you, this headline, than it does to me. Although I won't say I'm not excited about it. Is that there will be a Princess Diaries 3. And
I won't lie to you. The Princess Diaries kind of missed me a little bit too. It's exciting. Everyone that likes the movies is really excited.
Yeah.
I wasn't really I don't know. It wasn't one of the ones that but like all of my age people will be lining up. It's no Freaky or Friday, but we're there.
No, but I was actually, when I saw Anne Hathaway talking about it or doing her Instagram post, it actually made me smile. Seeing how happy she was about it, it just put me in a good mood.
She's kind of
hot and cold with her, but I'm hot right now.
No, she's kind of like on the mend. She's like coming back around. I think
did we fix her too?
We did in a Patreon episode, but I think she's like kind of.
Didn't we suggest Princess Diaries 3?
There's like, no, we did. I don't think we did. Oh, believe me, I would have like been shouting it from the rooftops.
Let's talk about some celebrity deaths. We usually end with
This,
them, but
what is happening? This
up.
week is dark.
First of all, Madonna's brother, Christopher, passed away.
Oh, texted you immediately upon seeing it.
Yes. And he was a big part of the image that we know as Madonna, especially on the early tours and early looks. And he's a very talented art director. He did have a pretty famous falling out with her in recent years, but according to her Instagram posts, they mended their fences when he got sick. But really quite a wonderful outpouring for him and acknowledgments from everyone who has surrounded her over the years about how important of an influence he was on her, specifically too in the early years when they came to New York. So what's terrible is that her stepmother passed away the week prior. And I think her brother passed away the day after they buried the stepmother. So I don't know, honey, it's that family's turn at the wheel, but R.I.P. Christopher. He was only 63 years old. Sending our love to Madonna and all of the Ciccones. Incidentally, Christopher, for those who aren't aware, Madonna is Madonna's real name.
Goodbye.
Just wanted to remind you of that.
Moving right along. I've been tortured enough.
Sissy Houston, mother of The Voice, Whitney Houston, has passed away.
Now, this is crazy because as we are recording this on Monday, tomorrow we will be releasing, which if you are listening on Wednesday is yesterday, Fixing Dead People, Whitney Houston. And on that episode, Dame Erin Bagwell, the Buffalo Medium, says, I requested a DJ play Whitney Houston, and they didn't play it, and the next day she died. And I almost released that episode today, and I didn't. And I'm releasing it tomorrow, and
I want to give a shout out to Peachy, the place that does my Botox, because while you're droning on about Sissy Houston, all I'm thinking is two things. A, my forehead looks absolutely flawless, but it also has grown in size, and now I'm going to need my hairline lowered. So I'm putting that on the list.
I love that you have admitted that when I start talking, you just look at yourself in the mirror, basically.
Well, I'm pretending to look directly at the lens, but what I'm looking at is the great job that Nikki Vasvani did on my eyebrows this past week, and the great job that Peachy has done with my forehead. So I'm skipping over Diddy as much as I possibly can. Let's talk about the Grammy categories. Yes, Beyonce will be eligible for all of the country categories at the Grammys. I don't know why there was even like a moment where she wouldn't have been, but she is.
And I know that like the whole point of this album was to do exactly this, but I'm almost like already like, stop. Like, what do you stop? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? We're going to talk
about this at length on another broadcast, because the bottom line is, was Cowboy Carter good? Sure. Was it great?
It wasn't Renaissance.
By what stretch would it be considered? I mean, it's good, but like, I did not listen to that. I listened to it many times, tip to tail, and I never thought to myself, throw awards at this. I listened to Renaissance one time, and I would have cut off one of my fingers to give this album of the year. I mean, it was that good.
She also has done like 0 performances of the music.
Sabrina Carpenter. The only other real thing people are talking about the Grammy categories is that Sabrina Carpenter, who the album on which we find the monster hit Espresso is her 6th album, technically, but she will be able to compete as Best New Artist.
See, but I don't like that.
I don't know what to say.
It's like Best New because like you're famous now. Like, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
sort of like what they mean by Best New Artist really is Best Breakthrough Artist.
Yeah,
so
sure.
If so, they should just name it that, you know?
Because even like last year, people were like, oh, like Charlie XCX might get like nominated for Crash. And it was like, she has like 16 albums. Do you know what I mean? Like, she has like 2 decades of music already. And it's like, yeah.
The other fun Sabrina story this week is that, you know, Mamma Mia 3 is supposedly in development somewhere. And Amanda Seyfried, who...
For what reason, we'll never know.
For someone can explain why Mamma Mia 2 was released. And that's
coming from a Cher fan, people.
Yeah. That was the reason it was released.
Yeah, 100%.
So I could scream in the theater during the 45 seconds she was in it. But Amanda Seyfried would love.
She showed up for one day.
She
was
sang
like,
Fernando
you have
to
me
Andy
for
Garcia.
truly one day. And then I
was
have to
never
leave.
on set with Meryl Streep, who played her daughter, which also makes absolutely no sense. Amanda Seyfried wants Sabrina Carpenter to play her daughter in Mamma Mia 3.
I mean, smart. It's smart.
A great idea.
And again, I love ABBA, so I'm ready. Here we go again. Like, they just played all. P.S. In Mamma Mia 2, I'm like, okay, we're not going to get Dancing Queen. We're not going to get like Super Trooper. We're not going to get. Meanwhile, they play every single one of those songs.
Yeah, but there's nothing left. Half the songs in Mamma Mia 2 I didn't know. What Mamma Mia 3 is going to be ABBA singing "Happy Birthday" and "Itsy Bitsy Spider." Like, enough.
Well, they're just gonna, but also just like do all the same songs. It's just like all the same songs again in a different way, and I'm like, okay.
Dancing Queenier, maybe.
Yeah,
they'll rename the songs.
They don't even try to make it a different song. It's just Dancing Queen again. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? As long as Christine Baranski's there, I almost don't care.
We're good to go.
It's like we're acknowledging that Mamma Mia itself, even people who wrote and were in it acknowledge, like, it's so far-fetched and ridiculous.
Mamma Mia 2 was like lost. It kept going between. It was like back in the day and then current, and it was like this whole like
it was
jump
like
in time.
It was like the Matrix Revolutions of rom-com. It was like, why did we destroy something good? Why are we here? And then Cher came out.
The Matrix Revolutions
of rom-coms. Reese Witherspoon is writing a novel. I'm only saying this because I want to publicly say, can you stop?
Just stop. Please stop.
Come on.
Stop.
No one wants. No.
And if you know, I have my stories about her. And I'll leave it right there.
Well, you should tell them. Reese Witherspoon once fingered Chris in an elevator at a Halloween party.
Stop.
Kanye West is divorcing his wife of 2 years, who I didn't realize he was actually legally married to.
I don't think he is.
Another one bites the dust, I guess.
At least someone is free of imprisonment.
Goodbye to that woman. And I hope this doesn't mean he's going to be coming around Calabasas more often, because we're beyond Kanye now.
Who's next is the question.
We're freeing prisoners here. We don't have time for this anti-Semitic nonsense. Our favorite Ginger Prince Harry, many stories coming out this week that he is now desperate to rehab his image and has not been seen in public with the Duchess of Schmuckers, his wife Meghan Markle, in several weeks. I don't think they're getting a divorce. No one's saying that, but he's like, I need to disappear without you so we can get back in the good graces. Too late.
Okay, I'm going to say it. I think that her company is a tax haven. It's the only thing that makes sense.
It's just so public, though. I feel like she's been too public about it for it to be just that. What I think is that she's probably as difficult as people say that she is. Like, she can't. There's no reason someone this popular doesn't have like the best minds in the world saying, you're a walking brand. Let me be a part of it.
I know,
if people are walking away from you, you are the problem.
No, yes, but like, think about like Elon Musk. Like, he's difficult. Like, he's a atrocious human being, and yet Tesla is running. You know what I mean? Like,
are they though?
No, but like, they exist. Like, there's Teslas on the street. At least, I can get in a Tesla if I need to. What I'm saying is, like, I don't even think it's like her being mean or difficult. It's like, I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I just don't think it's real.
Well, we've seen a photo of Jam, but we haven't seen that or anything else being sold.
And again, she can like pretend to sell it on a website. Like, she can like goop it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't cost that much money.
No.
She could make it in her house and sell it. Like, that would be, and sell it for $700 a jar, and people would buy it because it's her jam.
Well, if this is confusing to you, it's confusing to us as well. And when things are confusing, I just look to the simpler things in life, and nothing could be simpler than Nicole Scherzinger finally being on Broadway with Pussycat Boulevard. The first performances occur. Everyone who is seeing it is raving. This bitch walks out of the stage door to sign autographs, still makeup from head to toe, drenched in blood from the final scene of the musical.
She loves it. She couldn't wait. She couldn't wait.
Well, she's planned that. And you know what? High five, Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah.
That's the way to promote something. Fast forward to Meghan Markle walking out drenched in jam in 24 hours.
That clip of that one other Pussycat doll that I don't even, again, none of the other ones have I committed their name to memery, but
Right.
they were performing on some stage and they were singing, and that one jumps out and is like, loosen up my butt. And is like doing all these runs and really tried to like be a breakout star. And when I see that, I'm like, how dare you try to upstage Nicole Scherzinger, the only person that actually
right in front of Nicole.
Yeah. Like, and did real vocals on the album, right? Remember that?
But you want to know why you don't remember her name? She's dead. No one's seen her since then.
No, are you?
She's not.
How am I letting you trick me this much?
Nicole Scherzinger killed that woman.
Mentally, she did. With like, you see her shoot daggers at that girl.
Let's talk about two Australian besties and their children. Nicole Kidman's daughter, Sunday Rose, which we're not going to make fun of a child here. We're just going to say that she's now walking. I think she walked in Paris Fashion Week, and I maybe for Balenciaga. Am I making everything up about the story?
Speaking of, did you see that Gibson John's friend of the pod was holding hands with Nicole Kidman at a premiere?
I did not.
Go on his Instagram. You're gonna. I was like, I will never get over the jealousy. I think that's what I commented.
Oh, gabbing with Gib. I will love to see that.
It was big. Anyway, Sunday Rose.
Let me correct myself. Sunday Rose, Kidman Urban, walked the Miu Miu show in Paris Fashion Week.
I did see this.
So there will never in the history of Nepo babies
be a bigger one.
A Nepo-y Nepper baby than Sunday Rose. I have this to say. She is 16, so I will not evaluate her performance or her strengths or weaknesses or anything. She's utterly adorable. She looks like the child of Nicole and Keith. What I will say still is this. Why would you name her Sunday Rose when all anyone wants to say is Sunday Roast? Why would you do that? Still, 16 years later, change it. Change the girl's name.
She doesn't need to be. She doesn't need it because she's Nicole Kidman's daughter, so it doesn't even matter. It bounces right off her.
Sunday Roast your whole life.
That's fun to me, I think.
Oh, it's not. You know why it's not? You don't want people thinking of food when they hear your name. It's going to make you look. It's going to make you look like food.
Dominic, I think she's doing perfectly fine.
Maybe that's why I'm angry at her. I'm not angry at her. She's 16. But anyway, Nicole Kidman's bestie, Naomi Watts, walked a red carpet with her and Liev Schreiber's son, Sasha. Now, he's only 17, so I'm not going to say anything inappropriate, but check back here in 12 months so I can say something inappropriate. He's like 7 feet tall and godlike.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah, but isn't she married to Billy Crudup? Remember their wedding photos like on Instagram where they're like making out with each other?
She was. I remember that Billy Crudup won the Emmy and like just went on and
like
on
attacked
about
her face.
Like
oh yeah, you're right. You're like my beautiful. Yeah.
But she was married to Liev Schreiber, and this is the product of that union.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, it's her son.
Son, yes. Son.
Oh, I thought you were saying that alleging that they were like having sex.
In terrible news that you probably didn't even know was going to be news either way, the Who's the Boss reboot is died. That was going to be on Amazon Prime. I don't know what happened to it. I'm assuming when Amazon found out that Alyssa Milano murdered Shannon Doherty, they said, maybe not a good look for us.
Oh my God.
So now Tony Danza can't work. Seems very unfair.
Oh, God. But like, who was anyone clamoring for? I think they also saw Tony Danza playing like Che Diaz's father and just like that. And they were like, we got it. We're pulling the plug on this one.
Look, give me Judith Light or give me death. I hope that was the reason it didn't come back. It was supposed to be about Alyssa Milano, braced for the groundbreaking premise. A single mom living in that house where she grew up, and curmudgeonly retired dad Tony Danza lived with them.
No, brother.
Come up with something better and give us Judith Light, and then let's talk. But for now, not even a single tear. Who's the Boss 2? Childish Gambino / Donald Glover has now officially canceled his entire tour to focus on his health and or mental health. I assume you'll get refunds for your tickets, but this keeps happening to celebrities, actually, where they are just saying, I'm not doing this because I don't want to. Simone Biles, Chappell Roan, to name a few, who in recent years have just been like, you know what, I'm going to step away from this because I just, it's too much.
Well, and not for nothing, how many times on this show are we like, oh, this was just the thing. And then like the internet like took it into a level that was like another, like as if this person was a Menendez brother murdering their, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like Blake Lively, yeah, it was fucked up, but she didn't kill anyone. Do you know what I mean? And we were like raking her over the coals on the internet. Every single person picked every single. No, but I'm just saying like every little minute thing nowadays is getting like, I don't know. It's just so much. And I think the pressure is on these, especially these singers, like the Eras Tour and the Renaissance Tour, like changed that, like put everything up into like a new. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like this has to live up to this. And like no one else can live up to them because they're the two biggest things in music of all, like forever.
Can I say just one sweet story, which made me actually cry when I read it? I will not do that here, though. Or maybe I will, and I will take a year off to console myself for it and can nurture my mental health. Just kidding. Richard Simmons' brother has revealed that Richard was buried in workout clothes underneath a beautiful suit. And he said, maybe I am going to cry.
Wait, you are crying?
He said, just like Clark Kent and Superman, his superpower, his super suit was underneath the suit when we put him in the box. And I just thought that was the sweetest fucking thing that I have heard at least all week, possibly all year. I loved Richard Simmons. I mean, I miss him from 10 years ago when he dropped out of society. Like the world has never deserved people like Richard Simmons. We still don't.
Dominic, is that the Disney World train giving a salute to Richard Simmons
right now? Acknowledge that I am
currently
dialing
in
this week from hurricane-ravaged Disney World, and you do hear that the train is still running. Everything is wet. We landed, my friend and I landed today, and we're here to ride out Hurricane Milton.
I feel like I wish we would have just got one more interview with Richard. Like if Oprah could have sat down with him.
Yep.
Come on.
I hate to even say this. I even would have sicked Diane Sawyer on Richard Simmons just to get him on camera one more time.
I mean, same, but I don't wish that upon him. Because famously, as you know, Diane Sawyer can rot. Anyway, continue.
Are we going to do a Britney watch this week? Did you read that link I sent you?
The one that her
Let's just do it because we haven't done it in a while.
All right. Britney watch.
Oh, baby.
Wait, you're muted. Your mic got muted from the Hey Y'all. It was too much.
I cannot believe that. The Hey Y'all muted my mic.
Do a Hey Y'all. Oh, it did it again. It did it again. Back away from the mic. Does that mean
the Lord doesn't want us to do a Britney watch?
Britney herself is blocking this.
I'll back up from it. Hey, y'all.
The prayer chain is working. It's blocking all negativity from her.
So she's got a new boyfriend, right? And the boyfriend moved his kids into her mansion. And
this was the one that was like the cleaner, like was like cleaning her house. And then.
So what's happening? The boyfriend moved his kids into the mansion and the boyfriend's mother is bitching about it now?
Or the mother-in-law is like, we're trying to get the kids back or something. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm nervous.
He has them locked up in Britney's
But he's
house.
like, there's not hide nor hair of him on her Instagram. Like when she was like with her brother at that spa, like you see her brother all over the place. Brian Spears. Wow, the train's acknowledging Britney now.
I'll be there in a second, Mickey. We have to talk about Gaga first.
But like, you know, she went to that spa with her brother and like I saw all kinds of stuff. The guy was not there. Like we've yet to see this man.
Right.
Like we don't know. We do not see any photos of them together. So I don't know if any of this is real.
Maybe he is actually married to Kanye West's soon-to-be possibly ex-wife. And they are both in Diddy's basement. Speaking of Diddy, let's just mention this asshole because we have to. I mean, we could run down the 11 teen stories that have developed in the past 7 days. But the most important one is that there seems to be
a sex tape with
a sex tape for an A-list celebrity having sex with Diddy. As of today, I believe there are now
it's like three people.
Tapes.
It's like, or like one with three people and him. Is that what it is? Or there's?
Are we going to take our guesses of who we think it is? Can we legally do that?
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know. I'm nervous to do it.
I mean, on our group chat, we all agree who we think that the first person is.
I don't think the world does. I don't even think we need to say it.
Let's say it next week. Let's talk with our lawyers first and see if we're allowed to say. I know that we're right about that top choice. I know we are.
100%. Someone who allegedly had a boyfriend in Italy is all I'm going to say.
Someone whose name may be the job of a person who seats you at a theater. Sex assault is not funny.
Allegedly.
But celebrity guessing games are.
Allegedly. But that.
Allegedly, yes.
It's going down. And all these memes are like me, like listening to every person, like before they all get like taken down. And it's like, like Rebecca said, it was like, this is me. And it's like all these like 2000 stars, like their most famous songs. And it's like all these people like having their best time with all our favorite music before we can never listen to it ever again because it's tainted. And that's actively what's happening right now.
I think that this whole thing with Diddy, the lesson to be learned is this, for real. House parties suck. Go to a fucking bar. It's someone's house. You gotta compliment. You gotta bring them something. You gotta compliment the decor. You gotta stay longer than you probably want to because you're in someone's home. It's a personal space. You gotta pay tribute. House parties blow. Go to the duplex.
Also, we're like waiting with bated breath for all these celebrities to be revealed. And it's like absolutely horrible. And yet every single person in America is like literally licking their chops, like waiting for like anything to be released.
Yeah.
It's like,
again,
this is the Coliseum. No, but this is the Coliseum.
No, it is.
Like we want to watch people go down in a blaze of glory.
The thing is, you want him to go down, not everyone who's been associated with him. Unless the people associated with him also did shit to people without their consent, they should also go down. It just seems like these A-listers, I don't know. It seems like a lot of people might have been in the wrong place at the wrong time with this.
And we also never got this exact same thing from like the Jeffrey Epstein of it all. Right. And so we're like extra, like we've had our like knives sharpened, ready to go. You know what I mean? Like we've been like ready to carve the turkey and we're just sitting there waiting for the turkey to show up.
Well, please, Jaguar Wright on TikTok basically said Jennifer Lopez killed Abe Lincoln at this point. So it's like... She was talking about salivating. This bitch is no joke.
I can't deal with her. This is the thing, though. She's yet to like get out of that like performative situation she's doing in every video that makes me believe that she's just now doing it for the fame of it, which just makes me upset.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching, P.S. Deanna Chang was on her months ago.
She was.
And was like, watch all this. And I went in a hole and was like watching. I was in a scroll hole, to quote Donna Bowling. And was like, watching all these videos and I was like so in it and she talked about all the shit and now it's like she's doing interview after interview after interview and she's still just as shocked and I'm like, well, you've been saying this for months so like you should be like, I told like we come here a week after week and I'm like, Dominic, I was right, wasn't I? Instead of being like, can you believe this? Like, no, like I can't believe it because I said it already like last week, let alone months and months and months ago. But
let's talk about Gaga really quick before
this is big though. This
head over and fix Queer Eye. Which big thing are we going to talk about? That it was supposed to be us talking about her revealing some very simplistic wedding plans, and instead it's her appearing. It's like Joker 2 and Megalopolis are literally fighting to win the Razzie for Worst Picture at this point. Like these are two apparently major disappointments.
Everyone's flipping out saying that Joker 2 is terrible. People are like losing their minds. And again, I've brought it up now every week since I've known that this happened. She was in an interview saying like, sometimes we would just like rip up the script and just like do whatever we wanted. And I'm like, no, like don't do that.
That's why they call Joker 2 Folie à Deux. Folie à Deux, whatever we wanted. And now look what happened.
I'm like, look what happened with House of Gucci when you were trying to like make her and like stop.
I know what happened with House of Gucci, Christopher. It was a masterpiece.
Don't do this to me.
It's an underappreciated masterpiece.
Remember the things with her and Salma Hayek was like,
yes.
When I was like simply like, who is this poor victim of this movie? Like when her and Salma Hayek were like, we were trying to make them be like lesbians at the end, but like no one wanted that. And I was like, stop doing this.
Including Salma Hayek.
yeah. Salma Hayek was like looking into the camera, like blinking like a million times. I was like, stop, like just like giving yourself like artistic. I love this woman. I am a little monster forever. I might put her on the list. I think it's time.
You really want to fix it? All right.
I think we have to do it. It's gotten too far. And she's too talented to like become what is happening to her.
This is how much of a pussy I am. I am afraid of the little monsters.
No, we'll be fine.
I'm not afraid of Swifties. I'm afraid of little monsters.
I will treat her with this respect she deserves. I'm telling you.
And because she is the ultimate BFF of the queer community. Like we owe her quite a bit, and we will be respectful if we fix it.
No, we'll be respectful because there is a way out of this, and she just needs to get out of her own asshole is what she needs to do. But all this to say, everyone's freaking out about the movie. I desperately want to watch Joker 1 so we can go see it in the theater and see. Because not for nothing anymore, 99% of people, and let alone like some random ass person that just wants to get a viral TikTok or Instagram reel.
Yeah.
I don't really trust anyone's opinions of movies anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some people are like, I love this movie. I was like, this was a terrible movie. Like,
speaking of best friends of the queer community, my name is Dominic and I do a holiday show called Dom We Know Our Gay Apparel. Several cities have gone on sale already. I'm not sure which ones. I know I said there would be an official announcement today, but because we're still trying to eke out 2 more cities, the official announcement is going to come next week. But what I will tell you, and so many of you have messaged, which makes my heart full, and I truly appreciate it. And some people have already bought tickets in the cities that have snuck out their links for tickets. But I will say that I'll be in San Francisco on Sunday, December 1st at Oasis. I will be in Los Angeles at Bourbon Room on Wednesday, December 4th. I'll be at Toucans in Palm Springs on December 6th. I will be in Nashville at the Lipstick Motherfucking Lounge on Monday, December 9th. Chicago on Friday the 13th. New York City on Saturday the 14th. DC on Wednesday the 18th. And Boston on Friday the 20th. It looks like I'll be in Atlanta. And it looks like I'll be in Austin. And it looks like I'll be in London. But we gotta firm those dates up, and hopefully we can announce all 11 or so of those officially. But some of these dates are on sale. I'm going to be linking them in my socials in a couple of days. Certainly a week from today, all the links will be live. And we're trying to even squeeze even more cities in there.
So what you're telling me is that you're going on a Clinternational tour? Like that wasn't what you wanted to lead with? I think we can even drop
the M from it and just say it's Clinternational. I think we can do that. So, of course, the one question that everyone is asking, not what will we see you do this year?
what do you talk about at your show?
How have you upgraded your appearance? How have you elevated the material? Nothing. Anyone, including several exes, and this is not a joke, I have textual proof of this, have said, will Chris be there? Oh my God, I haven't seen you in 20 years. Will Chris be there? These are the texts.
The answer might be yes. I need to crunch the numbers, but the answer might be yes. I'm going to see, and then we'll figure it out. Where I might be coming to a couple cities.
What Chris and I will probably do, since this show is set up at its core as a competition, we may or may not have dueling step and repeat and photo ops
at your show that I'm not even a part of. I just have my own step and repeat by myself.
And you will have more, or you will sign more autographs.
Well, I think that I should be introducing you if I come to a show. I think.
Yeah, I think that you should.
Yeah, maybe not. I'm
not even hesitating. I'm just trying to think. What is the walk on right now? I don't even think it's done yet. But yes, you definitely should. What will you wear? Will you wear like?
I don't know. Well, that's a whole thing. Once I crunch the numbers, and if I can't do this, I now have to figure out what I'm going to wear, which I don't know what that is. That's a whole thing. Anyway, please go get your tickets. One more thing.
And sorry that way we keep going back and forth about we're announcing officially. And it's some of these tickets are on sale, and I will be linking them to the site. It's not unorganized. It's just frustrating because I don't have a manager and I do this by myself. This is the last fucking year I'm doing it like that. And that's it. So that's my excuse.
Additionally, we will be having holiday merch. Don't you worry about that.
Ooh.
We will announce it when it's ready, but just know that it's coming. And secondly, we on Patreon did an all-tier advice episode. And we've decided that we want to do it quarterly. And so the winter 2024 quarterly all-tier advice episode is going to be holiday advice. Now, I know it's early in October, but Thanksgiving's right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. So write in. We have like 2 weeks, but I need you guys to write in questions for the holidays. What do I get my friend? What do I get my parents? What do I do? My friend wants me to bring something to a holiday party and I don't know what to bring. How do I deal with my parents? How do I deal with my family members? How do I deal with blank? How do I, do I even go to Christmas this year with my family that I hate? These are the questions we want to answer. So please, please, please write in on Patreon, DM us on Patreon, DM us on Instagram, email us, do however you want to get to us. And I'm compiling a list and I'm checking it twice. Okay.
By the way, my answer to the question, do I go to the holidays with the family I hate? From me will always be yes. And then a list of suggestions of how to ruin their holiday.
Yeah. So could
write in and give us the details. We'll tell you what specifically to do to push their buttons.
So,
and you'll never get invited again. I promise you.
You're welcome, everyone, in advance. So write in and tell us what you think, because we're going to record that soon and it's dropping soon. So get ready.
And today we are fixing Queer Eye, the new one on Not Your Panties. We would never fix the old one.
Never.
Today we're going to fix the controversy-soaked Queer Eye right after these vital messages.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy, comfy. I'm cozy, cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes, blisters. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code Wondery for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code Wondery at checkout.
You know that feeling when your favorite brand really gets you? Deliver that feeling to your customers every time. Memorable moments like these are key to building your business and your brand. Klaviyo turns your customer data into real-time connections across AI-powered email, SMS, and more, making every moment count, so you can continue to build smarter, more meaningful relationships with your customers. Build smarter digital relationships with your customers and make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
All right. If you're in the Long Island iced tea tier of this podcast, you know her. And introducing her co-host of Queen's Podcast, it is Katy and Nathan from Queen's Podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Before we go any further, just tell us a little bit about your podcast for those who do not know.
Nathan, how would you describe Queens?
We talk about badass women in history. And it really just boils down to that. Anything from royalty, which is our primary topics, to people like Tina Turner and, more recent folks. The only downfall is that in order for us to do a topic on you, you must be dead. So that's the unfortunate part of our podcast.
So we'll get y'all should cover Britney Spears or something. And I'm like, don't you dare.
Yeah.
Is this to avoid lawsuits? Why is that rule in place?
So you can kind of discuss their entire life, their legacy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what people think about that's interesting. I love that.
Or sometimes, like we just did Evita, she had a very interesting afterlife. They didn't put her in her final resting place in the damn ground until Nathan, 20 years after she died?
Dear God.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
Hadn't they already done enough by making a musical and then a movie about her?
Right?
Yes.
Let her rest. But we also,
Truly.
Nathan makes delicious cocktails that go with each topic. So it's a little boozy too. Yeah.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little too boozy. And there's a couple episodes hanging out there.
There are a couple of episodes where it was
you're inebriated.
Those are so fun to edit, let me tell you.
I love that. So by the end of the hour, do you sound like Ingrid Andress singing the national anthem at the Home Run Derby?
Confirm nor deny.
Well, speaking of non-exaggerations.
Nice segue. Nailed it.
Great segue. I love it.
Killed it.
Well, first, let's do speaking of legacies. Let's do that at least.
Speaking of legacies.
Because Queer Eye is, quite honestly, a legacy show. It is a multi-generational brand. This iteration that we are fixing today has been awarded many times, including with several Emmys for best. Is it unstructured reality show or is it a structured reality show? Well, whatever that category it is, it's won more than one of them. Won more awards than the original did. I don't know if it's as highly regarded, but I guess we'll talk about that in our discussion. But today we are fixing Queer Eye, which recently has been the subject of some controversies. Not even recently, like over the past couple of years, actually, it's been dribs and drabs with some cast members more than others. But before we dive into Queer Eye, which is the child of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy from 2003, we have 5 cast members here, and we play the middle name game at the top. Should we go through all 5?
When Katy and I got drinks when she was in New York last week, she was like, I'm so upset that like we're not going to be able to do the middle name game because there's 5 of them. And I said, we'll just guess 5 people's last middle names.
Absolutely. Let's take them alphabetically by first name. Anthony Porowski. What is his middle name? Born in March of 1984.
March what? March as well.
March 14th, 1984.
So close.
In Montreal, Canada, an international destination that Christopher visited recently.
Sawyer.
Oh, I love that guess.
Sawyer. No. Anthony, what's his last name again?
Porowski. He's the food guy.
No, I know who he is. I just I was not prepared to try to guess everyone's middle name. Last time,
just throw a name out there. What's coming to you?
I see Chris right in front of me, so I'm going with Christopher.
All right, Nathan.
I'm going with something strange like Mikhail.
Love that.
Wow. Okay, Nathan's the closest because his middle name is Janusz. Anthony Janusz Porowski.
Oh. I was trying to go for Janusz with Sawyer, but okay.
Now let's go to Tan France, a British-American fashion designer born in April 1983 in Doncaster, England.
I don't think that's his real name, so I'm going to guess that he's Pakistani.
I'm going to tell you that it is his real name.
Really?
Oh.
France is not his real last name. Tan is a shortened version of his first name.
I'm going to say, I'm thinking of a Pakistani name.
I don't think I know.
Tan, let's just go Hassan.
Okay.
I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to stick with the theme. I'm going to guess Nathan.
I know he's Muslim, so I'm going to go with something like Abdul.
His real name is Tanvir. Real last name is Safdar. Middle name Wasim.
I wasn't going to get that.
No
way.
Tanzir is a great first name.
Yeah, that really
Tanvir.
is.
The fact that he did it to Tan.
Is that Janet Jackson's baby's name or her ex-husband?
Oh,
one of them's named Wasim.
Janet.
Was that her secret husband?
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yes. It was
her kid.
It was her
or the
ex-husband.
Guy?
No, the husband.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on. Oh man, these are getting. These middle names are getting more Wassam. So not.
Yeah.
Wassam.
So similar, but similar.
Karamo Brown, born November 1980 in Houston, Texas. What is Karamo Brown's middle name?
Lutelius. That's a deep cut.
He's a Texas boy. I feel like the middle name is going to be something like traditional. So I don't know. I'm going with James.
No one's gotten it yet.
You mean it wasn't Lutelius?
No one is gonna get this. No one's even gonna come close.
It's a great song. It gives me so much confidence that I'm going to get it right.
If you get this right, I mean, I can't even think of a super. There's just nothing. There's just no way. There's no way.
Okay, I'm just going to say Steven.
Oh my God! No, it's Karamo Karega Brown.
I knew it was going to be something.
Karega Brown, which
that's
God,
also a great name.
Well, he's KKB. He's the Kelly Ben Simone of Houston, Texas. How fantastic. Moving on to
KKB.
Bobby Burke, the interior designer, also born in Houston, Texas, in 1981.
Okay.
And
Robert
I don't know
Burke.
how to tell everyone this, but I don't think he has a middle name.
Oh.
He might not.
No, he doesn't have one.
Oh.
I'm sorry to have wasted everyone's time. Bobby Burke is middle nameless. Moving on to Jonathan Van Ness. His middle name is not Van. He has an actual middle name. He was born in Quincy, Illinois in March of 87. What is Jonathan Van Ness's middle name? I'll give you a hint.
Jonathan.
Old is the hint I will give you. Old.
Jonathan.
Cornelius.
Oh, beautiful.
Cornelius. Ah, damn
No.
it.
Jonathan Milford Van Ness.
Ooh, it's a good one. No.
I'm going to go with Eldridge.
It is not. His middle name is McDonald, as in Old McDonald.
Are
was
you
the clue I was
serious?
trying to give you. Jonathan
Oh my
McDonald
God.
Van Ness. Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
said
Wasn't
old,
that-
and I just thought of like a president. Like
yeah,
I was
just
like,
thinking of
Milford.
old timey
Milford.
name. Not
Yeah,
old
yeah, yeah.
McDonald.
Me too.
Should
The
we
hint
do
should have been
Jeremiah Brent as well?
I think we should do Jeremiah Brent.
Here we are. We're on the
is this
last
the new
one.
guy?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No one has a normal middle name. Excuse me for using the word normal, but I'm going to repeat it. No one has a
Common.
normal middle name.
Common. Yeah.
Born November 84. He's 39. He was born in Modesto, California.
Oh, really?
What is Jeremiah Brent's unusual middle name?
Sylvester?
Bullfrog.
It obviously is a family name. No one's going to guess this one either. See, this is good that we did all five because they're
None
all
of because we're nowhere near any of them at all.
Nathan, have you guessed yet? If you have, did
no,
you
I
say
have
the
not.
word Clevenger? Because if you did, you got it right, Nathan. Yes.
Oh my God. I've never won anything in my life.
JCJ. Oh, those are fun initials. JCJ. I could see those on. And
Yeah,
Attaché
JCJ
case.
looking like Macy Gray. Yeah.
Ooh,
Love it. Love it.
Wait, did you see that Macy Gray is going to be on The Surreal Life?
yes. Yeah, we should talk about that soon.
No,
Actually,
we should. We should.
should we fix that before it even airs?
I just saw that. Yeah, I just saw that like 10 minutes ago. Anyway, well, I mean, where do we begin? I mean, I think we start with the reason we're here is because there was a cast shakeup, and basically what we thought was going to be the end of the series became a renewal of all these people's contracts minus one. And we will get there, but I think where we go back to is the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy that was on Bravo of all networks. And I don't know, I feel like introduced, was it Clinton?
Bravo's first big show?
Yes. It
Yes.
basically put Bravo on the map. It turned Bravo from like this esoteric masterpiece theater type network to this was sort of the glue that led it to what it is now. This was their first young show.
I completely forgot they used to show, like older stuff.
Yeah, it was like Bravo, Ovation. It was like a bunch of these networks that were just very white glove. Bravo was one of them. I mean, remember Inside the Actors Studio was like
that was the only thing that held on.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that one too. So when the original started, I know Nathan and I were in high school, but what year did the original actually
2003 is
Okay.
when it premiered. Yeah.
And I remember hearing, I can't remember if it was an interview or what it was, but like there was something where someone was, I think it was like President Clinton or, it would have been Clinton. No, it would have been
Bush. Yeah.
Right? It would have
The
been Bush.
sequel.
Being
Bush Part
like,
Two.
they like went to the White House, the original cast. And Bush was like, if you say that you don't know a gay person, you're wrong because you now have 5 of them that are in your living room every week. Or something like that. That was like at the time, like a humongous deal.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the show really did introduce gay men to an audience that had never
Made them
possibly
digestible.
interact. Sure.
Made them be like, look, I could have these people over for dinner and they're not, they might redo my kitchen, but just wasn't, there were just so many people that they were seeing that in Will and Grace. And that was it.
Right.
That they had any introduction to gay people in their lives. So it kind of, I hate to use the
Bill
phrase,
Clinton
but like
included.
normalized. Bill Clinton included.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for when that moment when the late Anne Heche was like fisting Ellen DeGeneres at that White House dinner. Do you remember like the two of them was just like, ladies, it's not the kind of party. What are we doing here? Stop.
I don't remember that, but now I need to go
look it up. Look it up.
Okay.
I mean, leave out the word fisting, but they were definitely all over each other.
Oh, you've clearly never heard how my co-host talks on our show. Like he is definitely, we've definitely had some fisting conversations while I drink. While I go, okay.
More than we need to admit.
Dear Lord.
But the original was truly groundbreaking.
Sure.
It truly ushered in a lot of goodness after it. And many of the guys, if not all of them, went on to have wonderful entertainment careers. I mean, Ted has been hosting Chopped for the last 45 years. Carson's done just about everything, including Drag Race. Tom Felicia has an incredibly successful design company. Who am I leaving out?
Jay Rodriguez. He was on like Broadway.
Yeah, he was
did a
in
lot of
Grease,
Broadway
right?
shows after that. Yeah.
And then Kyan, I think, left Hollywood, but is still a stylist. I think he lives in Texas, and he's pretty active on social media. I could be wrong about the Texas part, but I don't think he lives in LA anymore. And this show, the new show premiering in 2018, has given all of them, I think they're all good friends. Like the old and new cast seem to get along really well. And so the old cast gets together. We see them a lot more now than we used to because of the new show, because they get together for like these kitschy little events. But when Queer Eye premiered the new one in 2018, I feel like it was an instant tearjerker hit. And I think it surprised everybody. It was just, it was just different enough. And it was even somehow more heartwarming than the original series.
Well, and they came out a couple years after it started saying the reason we even thought to do this was that when we put old episodes of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy on Netflix, it was like the biggest bingeable thing in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Like the numbers were like absolutely like, to use our own words, stratospheric, were like through the roof so much that like it was undeniable that this kind of content was like much needed on the platform. And they were like, so we went to all over the world casting for the new Fab Five because they were like, why not make this a reality show? If this many people, which is really interesting to think about, that like a show from 2003, and now we see it now, like Suits is like all the like Gen Alpha are like watching Suits and like loving it. And so now they're like gonna make Suits again because for no reason at all, but just other than like everyone's binging it. So why not do it? You know what I mean? It's like, it was kind of the original one of those that's like, here's, oh, you like this because now we have all this data.
Right.
Because it's just on and you're watching old episodes of an outdated show that's probably isn't even in widescreen. Like,
well, I also think Suits is coming back because the Duchess of Smuckers is looking for work and pulling all those strings.
Sure, absolutely.
If my tea leaves are correct, it's going to be called Suits: Rachel's Next Chapter is what it's going to be called.
I've never watched it. I'm assuming that's Meghan Markle's character.
Yes, Rachel Zane. Oh yes, yeah, the Queen of Suits.
The Queen of Suits.
Who now needs work. So,
Queen of Suits.
Duchess of Smuckers, Queen of Suits. She's many titles.
But it's funny because when I first saw the trailer, I kind of laughed a little bit because I said, oh, this is a gay show for straight people.
Like wasn't the original one too?
Sure, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a very interesting way of putting it. And I do think that what I've seen of Queer Eye, it definitely appeals to gay people more, I think, than the original did. I think the original actually would have skewed friendlier to straight people, but this one skews friendlier to queer people. Is that sort of like a long version?
I can agree with that. I mean, just the premise around the name of the two. One is Queer Eye for the straight guy, so they're catering to the straight community, whereas the newer Queer Eye, they fold in some gender queer people and women and things like that, where it's a little bit different. So I do think that maybe they are catering a little more to the queer community in the newer one, whereas the older one is primarily to the straight guy.
You could also just say the culture is more queer friendly now too.
Yeah.
It's gay. Yeah. We're all a little bit gayer, and isn't it better?
We are now.
So happy about it.
To quote Mama June herself, everyone's a little bit gay.
You always go to all the greats when you're quoting people. Like 2 weeks ago was JoJo Siwa. Now it's Mama June. These are the poet laureate,
His
the poets laureate of this podcast.
Nathan and I were talking the other day because when we were younger, we were both really into. Me and Nathan have known each other our entire lives, basically, and we were both really into South Park. And I was like, Nathan, do you remember the South Park Queer Eye for the Straight Guy episode with the crab people? Every time I hear that theme song, things just keep getting better. I think crab. And what a weird time to be alive. There was the Iraq War. There was Queer Eye crab people. Kenny was dying every episode. What a time to be a teenager.
Is South Park still on? It is.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, now they just release, they do
specials.
Like quarterly specials. Yeah.
Which
And
I
they're
like
all
that.
as good as they ever were, truly. Like, they're amazing. So when Queer Eye comes out now 6 years ago, I guess, it's instantly heralded. It starts winning awards. The cast is so diverse and is really as wonderful as it should be, as the original was when it came out 15 years prior. So then it's on for 2 years, and then
I will say,
go ahead,
well, wait,
because I want to know when it broke down, like because it broke down off camera, like nothing happened on the show that turned people off.
The Rolling Stone article came out March of this year, right?
Yeah.
So like the public breakdown is pretty recent.
I don't think it's like early in the show. The thing I think is important to note, and they do say it in the, maybe it wasn't the Rolling Stone, maybe it was an Us Weekly article I read about the Rolling Stone article once Rolling Stone locked me out of my free trial of listening to them. So this is either from Us Weekly or Rolling Stone, that like Stuart O'Keefe, who's a chef that's like kind of popular on Instagram, who actually has a cookbook with Amy Phillips, a guest of this podcast, said he was in the running to be the cooking one, the food one. And they basically were like, you are too famous. Like, you have done too many things. Like, the point was to get these nobodies that they were going to pluck from obscurity that, like, had businesses in this field or were doing something in this field.
Yeah.
But weren't really known or too accomplished. And then they then become household names, like, truly overnight.
Sure.
Like, they're put on this show and they're elevated to a level that, like, I don't know, is like beyond normal reality television, because they become these humongous celebrities.
So is Karamo like the most accomplished one, or probably the one with the biggest celebrity following?
Sure, but he was on the Real World like in 2004.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel like Jonathan Van Ness, if anybody, he did the Game of Thrones.
Jonathan was,
and he started getting a rather big following from that, and then I saw him on Queer.
Jonathan was the most
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones
current,
makes me laugh out loud.
Yeah, Jonathan was the most currently famous, but they weren't even that famous.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like JVN was like doing a Funny or Die sketch, basically. That's not, to me, that's not fame. I don't like, not to the level that they are today, or that they got from season 1 of the show.
I mean, I knew who Karamo was.
Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah, we basically said like, but that was in like 2004. So it's not even like anyone's really like, you know, wanting to find out what Karamo's up to. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't think anyone
20
was.
years ago. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It wasn't. Yeah. But they basically get plucked from obscurity. They then become overnight sensations. And just like every other celebrity, it seemingly went well for the first couple years from what I'm reading in the press and what I've heard from friends that have worked on the show. Everything was fine for the first couple years. The joke was always like, and they started to get mad about this, is that everyone would say like, oh, Bobby like redoes a whole home. Like basically has his own HGTV show within the show. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like redoing an entire house. Tan tells everyone to do a French tuck. Remember when that was like the biggest thing in the world? Like, you know what I mean? For like no reason. Anthony just does avocado toast every week, or like a watermelon salad. Do you know what I mean?
Everybody knows he'll never eat a horse. Cool, Anthony.
And then Karamo didn't have to really do anything. He just like talked to them. And then
he really didn't do anything. What was exactly his role?
It was like the culture one.
Oh, that's
to
right.
make you
That's
cry.
The weakest one. Yeah.
To ask you about your mom and make you cry.
That's always the weakest one.
And then JVN would like bring the person to like a different person to cut their hair. It was like, JVN would be like, I'm bringing you to someone else's salon and like tell them how you should cut your hair. And then I'm going to watch them do it. That's like basically what. So like while Bobby Burke is like truly and clitorally breaking his back, like building a new home for this person, like the other four are like playing fucking grab ass and picture pages. Do you know what I mean?
Let's go shopping.
Yeah. Like,
Yay.
so I think a lot, and they even joked in a lot in the beginning is like, oh, Bobby's not even in the show because he's like actually working and the rest of them like get to be on camera the whole time because they don't have anything to do.
Well, because, you know, they did a season here in Austin. And it looked like it was in summer at some points. And so I was telling Nathan the other day, I would love to see an honest edit. Because I don't know if y'all know this about Austin, Texas. It's fucking hot in the summer.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I would love to see the honest edit of just Tan being like, oh, we can make these shorts functional for night and day. And then like Bobby putting up drywall with no AC on because they had to turn the electricity off. And then Anthony being like, then that's how you make spaghetti. And then like Bobby like sanding down like something and like putting a real finish and just like melting. It's like, it just really didn't seem very balanced.
Well, and especially like, couldn't Bobby just go to Home Goods and be like, here, I'm going to update your art on your walls? Do you know what I mean? Like Bobby didn't have to do like major construction. Yeah. Right? Bobby could have like went to like a home design store and bought some pillows and a throw blanket and like gotten them a better coffee table. Do you know what I mean? And gotten their bed off the ground, like a mattress on the ground to like something with like a headboard. Do you know what I mean? Like that could be the home part, not like I'm going to I'm going to do like extreme makeover home edition for no reason at all while these other four people are like doing nothing.
And now y'all know more about reality TV than I do. Would that have been like the producer's choice or his own choice?
I wonder if they were like, well, we need a transformation. The thing that I would assume would be the thing that the network would be like constantly telling the producers is like, it needs to be a transformation. It needs to be a transformation. Like we need to see a before and an after. Right. And like with hair, that's very easy. If someone has like gross hair and they give them a really good haircut, that's really easy. And everyone loves that. Because then it's like, oh my God, look, think about when you have a long beard, when you've like your beard is bushy and then you like trim it up and you just feel so much younger already. Or when you cut the sides of your hair and you're just like, oh my God, I like feel like I shaved like 10 years off my age. You know what I mean? Like that's easy to do. But that's a transformation. I feel like they probably, and this is me simply my own opinion, is like, they were probably like, you need to redo this house because we need to see a before picture and an after picture and it looks so different.
Yeah.
So him doing the most work, is that what led to him leaving the show?
Allegedly, in the Rolling Stone article, it says that Bobby has said like they did a season in New Orleans and it like was seemingly the end of the show and their contracts were up.
Okay.
So they were all going to have to renegotiate. So they were going to spend like, and now they're like humongous celebrities. Okay. They aren't these little nobodies that like got nothing. So they probably all wanted way more money.
Right.
And so in theory, they were like, okay, well, this is going to be the end of the show. And it seemingly was the end. And they all walked away feeling like, oh, that's probably the end. And according to Bobby, he went and started like getting his other things going because the show is over. Right. And then when like Netflix called them back and was like, hey, like, let's start shooting again. Bobby was like, oh, I have like a whole life to do now. Like I have like all my shit going. All these projects need to happen. I think I'm done. And in his mind, it was like, if they don't all come back, the show won't go forward. And then apparently everyone else signed on.
Well, also in choosing Bobby's replacement, they did not go with someone unknown. I mean, Jeremiah is like known for many years. He's married to Nate Berkus. He's already the design expert on another Netflix show. It's Say I Do, right? Is a wedding show, which is sort of it's a wedding version. Oh, it's a wedding version of Queer Eye, actually. Which I did not know until I just looked at Wikipedia. And so then this is the year it was announced that he's joining this show. Maybe he was just filling a quick hole or something. I don't know. Like he seemingly easy. If he's already on Netflix, he's an easy choice, but he's certainly not unknown.
Well, the other drama. Yeah. Go ahead, Katie.
Nathan, what do you think? Like, if you were Bobby, would you feel like everybody went behind your back and signed without including you on purpose? Or how would you feel?
I don't know. It seems like, at least from what I'm gathering, his perspective is he already had projects. He already had things that he was ready and willing to do. So I don't know. Maybe he got a little hurt, but at the end of the day, he's like, screw it. I've already got all these projects and I'm busy.
But then Tan made a social media post where he said Bobby was fired.
So that's the other thing, is that everyone was like, oh, Tan, you just like, there's the rumors in the articles that I read are like, Tan was lobbying to get Bobby off the show and lobbying to get Jeremiah, who is his friend, on the show. And he's like, that's not true. That's not true. And even Bobby said, like, no, that's not true. Like, we got in a fight about something that's personal. It has nothing to do with the show. And like, that's what it is. It had nothing to do with that. But then Tan on Instagram was like, I'm not the reason that Bobby got fired. And I didn't leverage my friend. Like, they're now coming to me to ask me to have my friend. So it's like, it's the classic Housewives. Was I fired? Did I walk away? We've been, Dominic, we've been there a million times.
Like, have you ever like maybe didn't realize you were tipsy? You've had one too many drinks and you think you're fine. And then you post something and then you go, oh shit, I shouldn't have. I wonder if Tan did that or if Tan is really that messy. That's what I want to really know.
I don't know. And the thing that's crazy is like most of them get all these other deals from being the Fab Five.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like Tan is then on that Next in Fashion show, who it's just basically, he's like the, what is his name? Tim Gunn of this Netflix show.
Kind of,
he wishes, but yeah. And then had like capsule collections at all these different places, had all these lines of clothes that like, you know, the whole deal.
That's a great show, by the way. And I just to throw that in there, I've seen a lot of that show and it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
He also had a YouTube show where he took comedians shopping. Like he's got one with like Pete Davidson and he's got one with like John Mulaney. I don't watch real TV. I just watch YouTube.
That's right. I remember that.
And Tan is also like, he like mediated the like Selling Sunset reunion they did after like 5 years of the show. Thinking he was Andy Cohen, sadly was not as good. Sadly it was a swing and a miss. Still, like they're being tapped to do all these other things. Like Anthony had a cookbook. He had like a restaurant in the West Village for like 2 seconds. Like Bobby has a whole home line that he's making like $1 bajillion off of, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like Karamo has like, is basically the new Mari. Not to, you know,
and he cannot be happy about it. Like that is not what that show was supposed to be, but this is what it needs to stay on the air. Yeah. He's pretty upset.
Yeah, that's rough. But he's basically Mari now. And then JVN is now like, has a hair care line and is like, you know, has a whole like.
Arguably the breakout star.
JVN is
in the beginning for sure.
Is arguably the breakout star. And now and JVN is then in the same articles alleged that they have like rage issues and is a diva on set and is mean to people. And allegedly, according to the article, I'm just telling you what's in print, that JVN is like, oh, it's so great. But then when the mood changes and then everyone's upset and blah, blah, blah. And like some of the other Fab Five won't even shoot with JVN anymore.
Ooh.
Or like
they won't even them?
No.
Damn it.
I want names.
Name them.
You cowards.
Name them.
Drag her.
Name them. Name them.
Name them. Just do it, y'all.
Name them.
Name them.
But okay, well, what do we think? Because it's like, there is eyeballs on this now. And like, JVN has not spoken about the alleged anger, you know, on-set behavior.
JVN was on a podcast called Table Manners. And I remembered why I like, I've never listened to it, but I know it's like somebody who was a British pop star at one point and her mom.
Oh, it's what the hell is her name?
But
I love her.
He was lovely on that show. And I was like,
Jessie Ware and her mom. Yes.
Oh.
And I remembered why people liked them so much, because they are so engaging to listen to. And they did address it on there, just being like, everybody has off day. Like they didn't take it uber seriously, if I'm being
I bet
honest.
that's how it's going to. I don't know how scandalized the brand actually is. I think that they will almost non-address it. Like, I think they'll just very casually say, if they even say Bobby's not here anymore, they might just reintroduce everyone in what categories they are and then just pick up as though Bobby was never there.
I wonder.
What if they just gave the new guy like a Bobby wig?
That would be fantastic.
But that's the thing is like, he is famous. Like, he's married to Nate Berkus, who in theory should be that person, but is like too famous to do it.
He is too famous to do it. Sure.
Right. Remember on Oprah?
Nate is.
Remember him going on Oprah whenever he was in the tsunami? Do you remember that?
It was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen. That whole
Remember
episode was so
like it was yesterday.
Same.
Nathan, do you have any idea what they're talking about?
Yeah,
I have no clue.
Okay.
No
Okay.
clue.
I don't know who this is. I don't know.
We're idiots.
Okay.
We're idiots.
It's too dark. What I do remember, the comedian Mateo Lane refers to Nate Berkus and Dr. Phil and Rachel Ray and whatchamacallit, Dr. Oz. He calls them Oprah's Horcruxes.
Yeah. And Susie Orman. Yeah.
Yes.
Who I love, by the way.
Yeah.
Love Susie.
So I don't know. I bet they're not even going to address it. I bet they're just going to get to the content as soon as possible. They won't address. It'll besmirch the show if they address it this way. Do we want to fix the image of the show or do we want to fix the show?
I think it's image of the show. For me,
Okay.
This is almost giving me, you remember whenever those allegations about Lizzo came out and
Do we remember?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Are you not following Shirlene Quigley on Instagram?
Because we are.
But it's very much like that, where I think what they're going to do is just like brush it off as like, oh, it's just a bunch of disgruntled old employees that just didn't like us. And so they're just trying to get money. Me neither. It's like victim blaming. It's victim blaming in a way.
You know who we really need here who should be sitting down with the six of them? Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
She's the one who should be sitting down.
Problem solved.
Dominic, how dare you do that?
I'm so sorry.
Can you imagine?
Just can't happen.
Yeah.
She's a good reunion host.
How many times did she call them faggots right to their faces?
Oh, God.
Like, how many times? And they would be like, yeah.
Yeah, Wendy. Sure.
And
we are faggots. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, can you imagine? That'd be so good. She'd be like, how are you doing, Jeremiah? Like, she would be like so unhinged in the, oh God.
All right. If we're fixing the image of the show, I have a fix in mind.
I know, I do too. I think I'm good. Anything else we need to say about them or the show or the people or anything else you guys want to say before we get into the fix?
One time when they did the Austin show, they fixed somebody that I've met before in life that I do not like.
Really? And
I just don't like them.
Have you seen them since they got fixed? And did
no,
their
like we don't like
personality
we don't
change?
like know each other. They're because everybody on the show like either owns like works at a charity or owns a bar or owns a restaurant or whatever. And I just had a very negative interaction with that person. And I've heard of a lot of other people that did too. But that's all
what
I'm
was
gonna
it
say.
like in Austin when they were there? Was everyone a flutter? Like,
I actually
I don't remember.
It was during COVID.
Yeah.
It was like during COVID. So a lot of things were on lockdown. However, I did have some friends that ended up going out to a gay bar and they actually saw them there. And they were all sitting together at the gay bar and they were very standoffish. They ignored their fans. They ignored the fans. They were rude.
Nathan,
yes.
Why are you waiting this long to tell us this?
Top of episode, baby. What you doing?
Yeah. So there were rumors that they were queens. They were very, very uppity and thought people were beneath them and weren't very cordial, which to me is so disappointing because it's like your fans are the ones that made you famous. Just show them a little bit of respect and say hi or something.
Also, that's the whole fucking point of this is to like take a fucking picture with someone and everyone be like, oh my God, they were so much fun. And then everyone loves you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Be a cunt to the coworker. Sure. Ruin everyone's life on set. That is what it is. But like the
nice
fans, really, they were like, they wouldn't let anyone take like.
They were just super. They were also, I think it's closed now. I forget the name of it. I really forget the name of it. But yeah, apparently they just sat at the bar, didn't talk to anybody, didn't really communicate. They were just very standoffish. And it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way where they're like, wow, we really don't want to hang out with these people.
Oh, he's cracking his neck. Does that mean the fix is imminent?
I'm ready if you are.
I'm ready.
Okay. Hosts of Queer Eye, Anthony Sawyer.
We're not going to miss his name. Dead Sea Scroll.
There's too many of them.
Don't you dare.
I don't like what's going on here. And I don't like, they kind of all have their own extra things going on, and I want them to do those things. I'm kind of done with them being on the show. What I want to do is, instead of doing this new season with Jeremiah Brent, I want Netflix to do a show that's called Finding Queer Eye, where they are going to cast the next Fab Five. And they're going to have our original Fab Five back and the OG Bravo Fab Five together. And all 10 of them are going to be like in some way involved with also like Ted Sarandos or like someone from Netflix that's like high up, or someone that's like casting the new, and we have all of these people trying out. A little bit of a tangent, but I promise it makes sense. I had to do research on someone because I was working with them on a show, and I rewatched their season of Next Food Network star. It wasn't Damaris Phillips who was on this show. It was someone else. And what they do in that show is show you how television is made. It is crazy that more people don't talk about. Like, you watch them be a host and they get pointers on being a host. It's wild to watch today because it's like what we all desperately so want is the behind the scenes. How does the show work? They show you. Mm-hmm. They showed you on TV. I want to see that, but for Queer Eye. All right, when you're connecting with these people, you need to blah, blah, blah. You need to do this. And they're interviewing these people almost like American Idol at the beginning. They come in and there's like all of them in a line on the, you know what I mean? The big thing, like America's Got Talent. They have the buzzers. Like, and then it's like, okay, here's my person. Here's my pitch. Here's my elevator pitch of myself, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I would do. And here's my thing. They would then do like segments and they would figure out how to do this. Here's how I would decorate this room. Here's an easy, not avocado toast, recipe that I would do that is really visual and blah, blah. And we see how the sausage is made. And through that, they cast this new, like, different and more, I feel that like they did a good job of being diverse this time around on Queer Eye. And that's what made it so good, is that they all come from different places and they were a bunch of different people. I think we could even go further into that. I think we could have a trans person there. I think we'd have like all different kinds of like people, and it's like, this is the new version of Queer Eye.
Like maybe even a gay woman, or is it just is it still misogynistic?
Who I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
maybe.
Girls?
No, I mean, I think that's the next step anyway.
Like women are disgusting. Yeah, like
cooties. Okay,
but like something. I think it's like we watch them, and through that, we're seeing like how TV is made. And I think that to me is very compelling.
Interesting.
And I weirdly feel like it releases all of our Fab Five people to just like go do other shows on Netflix. Like Bobby Burke should have just a show where he renovates houses. Yeah. Right? Like Bobby Burke should be like the person that Chrishell calls on Selling Sunset to like stage the house. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like that's what I think.
So
I think
where's
they
Jeremiah?
should go. Okay. Jeremiah's gone. He doesn't need to be on this fucking show, first of all. He's fucking a bajillionaire. Right?
No,
they're so rich. Like, he doesn't need to be on the show. I think it's Finding Queer Eye. They cast this reality show, and we have fun watching it.
Yeah, so it's like a competition reality show on how to be the next Queer Eye. I love that idea.
Do you think all these people, these queens, the current queens, are going to be okay with it and sign on and be like, yeah, we'll just find our replacements?
They're going to have to be.
Yeah.
And that's your fix.
I don't think any of them actually want to come back to the show, but the money's probably too good.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think they all want to go do their own things. Or maybe they... I don't know. You know okay, that's my pitch.
I bet it's like the way that the queens keep going back to Drag Race to do All Stars. Like, it's a pain in the ass, but because it's like the core, it's like the more Queer Eye airtime they get, the better Next on Fashion is going to do, the better JVN's hairline is going to be. Like, they need those episodes to exist in bingeable perpetuity. So you're probably right that they don't want to do it, but they need to, because it's a place where anyone can find them whenever they're needed.
It keeps them in the cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've seen it on Housewives a million times. It's like everyone thinks that, like we talked about Nene, thinking she's going to be a real actor. She like left and then no one, you know what I mean? Very few of them have ever broken out of it and become something else.
Right. Well, Nene is now also turned into Lil' Kim, so no one knows they're competing for the same roles. It's too much. I don't care how bad it's too much. It's too much.
Anyway.
Okay, my idea is definitely different. Cast of Queer Eye. I need to know what has happened here and what I think we need to do for the premiere of season 9, since we have a new cast member, is, by the way, what do we call gay people that fix people who aren't gay? What's the term for like white savior or magical Negro? Like what's the term for gay people? Like
gay,
fairy godmothers.
Yes, something like that. Yes.
That's like too nice though, because the other things are like negative connotation.
Well, I can't say the slur that might make it funnier, but you said it earlier, so
we'll say it off camera. Oh, is it faggot or is it fisting? The fisters. That's what they are.
The fister. The fighting fister.
Fisty godmothers. I think that the first episode of season 9 should be the cast themselves getting judged by a group of straight people. And the straight people will come in, and as part of the cast getting judged, instead of the cultural element, they sit down and have a sexier version of whatever you'd call a work retreat. And we find out what the hell happened behind the scenes. They can change their looks, they can change their styles, and just like get ready for the new season. It would just be one episode in place of a reunion or a response to the Rolling Stone article. Bobby could even be on it and either sign off on Jeremiah or just saying goodbye to the other guys because it's time for him to ride off into the sunset.
And so there's like a straight Karamo that makes everybody cry.
There's someone, I mean, that would be real kitschy. Yeah, like we'd have to be very careful about who we select. I think they would have to be all people who we know. You know what I mean? Like maybe, and really, I don't want them to do it, but just as an example, the cast of The Talk goes in there and just like zhuzhes up the cast of Queer Eye, like some sort of other diverse,
The View,
Joy Behar, like everyone but Sharon Osbourne.
Joy Behar goes in and just destroys everyone. Like she's like, "Why are you fighting? Why are you guys fighting? Why are you fighting? So what? Who cares? So what? Who cares?"
Honestly, I would just be Joy Behar. That's
I would give my social security number to get them.
But I am not prepared at this time to cast the straight people who would do it, but it should be people who are known to us. It doesn't have to be 5 of them, but it can just be like, we're here for you to get you back in the game, limber you up, find out what's wrong, get you guys back in working order again. Because, you know, like any team, you probably just need a little bit of a refresh. And that's it. And that's my pitch.
Oh, both good choices. So Dominic's, yours is 1 episode, and Chris, yours is like a season?
A whole series.
It's a whole series.
Okay. Nathan, what do you think?
So I feel like obviously they either have to address the problem or they just sweep it under the rug. But to fix it, I do kind of feel like they are going to have to at least address Bobby's departure. I would think they would at least say something along the lines of he went off to do bigger and better things, something along those lines, just to kind of ease the tension. And I think what we're going to start seeing before the new Queer Eye comes out is more than likely some PR blitzes on how great the guys are to work with and how awesome everything. So you're going to see this whole different side of how Netflix tries to paint them out to be these fairy godfisters or whatever we
Fisty godmothers.
So yeah,
fairy godfisters.
Whoops.
But between the 2 options they gave us, which one would you choose?
I'm thinking I would honestly like the series just because I'm all for a competition reality TV series, especially one that would get some more recognition to some new faces, some new people, because these guys are already established. They're already making their money. They already have their projects. So it's time to bring in a new generation and include queer women and trans people and make it a little more inclusive besides just a bunch of gay dudes.
Yeah. But that was super inclusive for 2016 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was stuck. I didn't know who I wanted to go with, so I was letting Nathan choose. So yeah, Chris, I'm gonna go with yours.
Oh, that is so misogynistic. Fine.
Misogynistic? What? Sure.
You're making the man choose.
Oh, okay.
Katie, you agree? I'm the winner. Is that what's happening?
Yes. I want you to say it. Say I'm the winner.
Damn it.
Got him again.
Damn it. Chris is on a roll.
Yours was really hard. Good too, though. Yours was really
This was
good.
hard. This was hard. Like this is hard. You know what they're actually going to do? Here's what's really going to happen, by the way, and we'll keep this on record.
Nothing.
They're going to do nothing. They're not going to do anything. And what's going to happen is it's going to be like the four of them on FaceTime with Bobby and being like straight out of Housewives.
Hi,
like,
Bobby.
Hey. And he's like, hey guys, like I'm here, like wherever else, like doing this big project. Like I can't come to, Seattle this year, wherever they're going. You know what I mean? I can't come to Seattle. Like, so you guys are going to have to do it without me. Sorry. Like, bye. Click. And then it's going to be like Tan being like, well, my friend, Jeremiah Brent, would be great to do this. Let's call him up. And then he'll like call. And then that's what's going to happen. 100. I would stake so much on that's exactly what's going to happen.
Like we hadn't all read the article. Like we don't already know. Yeah.
100%.
Both really great choices. But yeah, probably the more underwhelming thing is actually going to happen.
It's going to be so incidental. It may not even be that. They
Anything.
may not.
It might be
They
nothing.
may not bring it up at all. They might just introduce Jeremiah as though he is Bobby. Like just introduce them all in the open and then move on.
How funny would it be if Bobby just like shows up like as like in the background?
Yeah, like, hey, yeah.
And doesn't tell anyone.
He's just like eating dinner in the background of a scene.
Nothing.
They're like, what? What are you guys doing here?
My God.
I'm a troll. That's what I would
fun.
do. But this was a lot of fun.
I love having teams on.
I feel like this is a lot different than a lot of the ones you'll have done before. So thanks for taking a bit of a chance with us.
Sure.
Thanks for coming on this weird ride with us, talking about fisting. Thank you both for being here. Queen's podcast is amazing. I mean, you guys are like knocking it out of the park. So if you guys like history at all, go find them. Where can people find you guys online and where can people listen to the show?
Listen to the show everywhere you get your podcast. And Nathan, tell them about our Patreon.
We have a Patreon that doesn't just focus on women in history. Sometimes we go down deep dives on true crime. We may do like a culty episode on there as well. So we venture a little bit outside of the traditional feminist history and go into some more juicy bits.
I was going to say, or you talk about people that are alive, and then you said true crime and cults. So I was like, okay, no.
They're all dead.
We do about once every 2 or 3 months do just like a catch up with pop culture episode.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah. And then we're on all the social medias, but Instagram is probably our most active one. So
and that's a Queen's podcast, right?
Yeah, just Queens_podcast. Yep.
Perfect. Dominic, where can people find you?
Oh, at Dominic Pupa on the socials and my website's domentary.com. Chris, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. I wish you all well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.